Snow fell from the dark sky like silent knives. The wind howled across the frozen land, strong enough to break bones. His armor was cracked. His blood was freezing on his skin. Every step hurt, but he still moved forward, not because he had hope, because stopping meant death. He was once a soldier of a human core fleet, once called brave, once trusted. Now he was nothing but an exile. His name was removed from records. His medals were taken. His people sent him to this dead world and told the galaxy he never existed. This planet had no cities, no signals, no rescue, only cold. The warrior fell to one knee. His breath came out slow and weak. His vision blurred, but then he saw it. A dark opening in the ice cliffs ahead. A cave. Not safety, but shelter. He forced himself inside. The wind screamed outside, angry that it could not follow him in. Inside the cave, the air was still, cold, but quieter. The warrior leaned against a stone wall and slid down, leaving a thin red mark behind him. "This is it," he whispered. Then he noticed the light. Soft, orange, alive. He raised his head. At the center of the cave was a large nest made of black stone and crystal. Strange symbols were burned into the floor around it. Inside the nest were 5 massive eggs. Each one glowed gently, like fire trapped under glass. The warrior's eyes widened. "Dragons," he said. "Not a myth, not a story. Real." Every child knew the legends. Dragons were ancient beings of heat and flame. They ruled stars before humans learned how to fly. They did not attack often, but when they did, entire fleets vanished. And this was a dragon nest. Fear rushed through him, sharp and fast. If the dragons returned, he would be burned to ash in seconds. He tried to stand. He failed. His body shook. He was too weak to run. The warrior laughed quietly, a dry, tired sound. "So this is how I die," he said, "eaten by legends." Outside, the storm grew louder. Ice crashed against the cave walls. The temperature dropped even more. The glowing eggs began to flicker. The warrior noticed it. The light was getting weaker. He crawled closer, dragging his broken leg across the stone. When he touched the nest, the heat surprised him. It was warm, but not enough. The eggs were freezing. The warrior froze too, but for a different reason. If the eggs died, the dragons would feel it. They would come, angry, wild, and they would destroy everything on this planet, including him. He could crawl away, hide in the dark, let nature finish its work. No one would blame him. After all, the galaxy had already blamed him for everything else. He remembered the trial, the false words, the leaders who never looked him in the eyes. He remembered being called dangerous and unnecessary. He remembered the moment the ship doors closed and left him behind. Exiled, alone, the warrior looked at the eggs again. They were alive, innocent, unaware of politics, lies, or betrayal. His jaw tightened. Slowly, painfully, he removed his broken armor. Cold bit into his skin like teeth. He placed the armor pieces around the nest to block the wind. It was not enough. The storm was winning. The warrior took a deep breath. Then he did something no one would ever expect. He climbed into the nest. The heat burned his skin, but he welcomed it. He wrapped his arms around the eggs, pressing his body against them. His back faced the cave entrance, taking the full cold of the storm. He became a wall. "Don't worry," he whispered, though no one could hear him. "I won't let you freeze." Minutes passed, then hours. The cold tried to take him. His hands went numb. His thoughts slowed. But he stayed awake. He focused on the warmth, on the soft hum coming from inside the eggs. They were alive. That mattered. The storm outside became worse. Ice cracked the cave ceiling. Snow piled at the entrance. The warrior's breathing grew shallow. His mind drifted. He thought of Earth, of blue skies, of things he would never see again. He smiled. "At least," he murmured, "I chose this." His body finally gave up. The last thing he felt was warmth, not from the nest, but from something deeper, something ancient. The eggs glowed brighter. Outside the cave, far above the storm, shadows moved across the sky. The dragons were coming home. And inside the cave, an exiled human lay still, guarding a future that will remember him, even if his own kind never would. The storm did not stop. It grew angry, like the sky itself wanted the cave erased. Ice slammed against stone. The wind screamed through cracks, searching for life to kill. Inside the cave, the warrior did not move. He sat in the nest, his back against the freezing air, his arms locked around the glowing eggs. His skin was pale. His lips were blue. Every breath hurt like broken glass. But he stayed awake. The eggs pulsed with soft light. Slow. Weak. Alive. That's it, he whispered. Stay warm. His voice was barely sound now. Time lost meaning. Minutes melted into hours. His body shook without control. Blood from his old wounds froze and cracked. He could not feel his fingers anymore, but he did not loosen his grip. If he let go, the cold would win. The warrior closed his eyes for a moment, and memories attacked him. He remembered standing before the High Council. Bright lights, cold faces, voices full of fear pretending to be justice. You are too dangerous, they said. You ask questions, they said. You make others doubt, they said. He had saved colonies. He had stood against impossible odds. But when he refused to follow a wrong order, they turned on him. Heroes were useful. Thinkers were not. Exile was their solution. The memory faded. Pain pulled him back to the cave. His breathing slowed. Each breath felt like the last. His heart struggled, beating heavy and weak. The eggs glowed brighter. The warrior noticed. A faint sound filled the cave, a deep hum, like a sleeping giant breathing. The nest felt warmer now. Not enough to save him. Enough to save them. He smiled a small, tired smile. So, you feel it too, he whispered. The storm cracked the cave ceiling. A shard of ice fell and cut his shoulder. He did not react. Pain had become distant, like it belonged to someone else. His thoughts became slow. Heavy, he wondered if anyone would ever know what happened here. Probably not. History forgot exiles. The warrior's head leaned back against the stone. His eyes stayed open, staring at the dim cave roof. His vision blurred, dark at the edges. I hope, he whispered, you live better than we did. The eggs responded. The glow grew strong. Heat filled the nest, pushing back the cold. Strange symbols on the cave floor lit up, one by one, ancient and powerful. The warrior did not see it. His heart skipped. Once, twice, then it stopped. Silence filled the cave. The storm howled outside, but inside, everything was still. The warrior was dead. For a long moment, nothing happened. Then the air changed. Heat rolled to the cave like a slow wave. The snow at the entrance melted. Ice turned to steam. The ground trembled. A shadow blocked the cave opening. Then another. Then many. Massive shapes moved through the storm, wings spreading wide enough to block the sky. Their eyes burned like suns. Their scales glowed with living fire. The dragons had returned. The first dragon stepped into the cave. It stopped. The dragon looked at the nest, at the eggs. Safe, warm, alive. Then it saw the human. The dragon lowered its massive head. Its eyes narrowed, not in anger, but in confusion. The human was dead, yet his arms were still around the eggs. The second dragon entered, then the third. They circled the nest in silence. No roar, no flame, only stillness. One dragon touched the warrior with the tip of its claw. Cold, gone. The dragon pulled back sharply, like it had been burned. A deep sound echoed to the cave, not rage, but grief. The dragons understood. This fragile creature, this small, breakable being. He had no claws, no fire, no wings, yet he stood against the storm, against death, against fear, for them. The eldest dragon lowered its head until its forehead touched the stone floor. The others followed. They bowed. Fire gathered around the warrior's body, gentle and controlled. Not destruction, honor. The flames lifted him, cleaning blood and ice, wrapping him in light. The eggs glowed brighter than ever. A voice echoed through the cave, ancient and heavy with power. He gave warmth. The fire burned higher. He chose us. The flames rose like a star being born. Outside, the storm died. Inside the cave, the warrior's body turned to ash and light. But something else remained. A spark. Small, unbroken. The dragons watched it closely. Death had taken the human. But something deeper had noticed him. And it was not finished. The fire did not fade. It hovered in the air where the human had died, burning without smoke, without sound. The cave glowed like the heart of a star. The dragons stood in a wide circle, watching in silence. They had seen worlds burn. They had seen stars die. But they had never seen this. The ashes of the human did not fall to the ground. They stayed together, spinning slowly, pulled by an unseen force. At the center of the fire, a single spark remained, small, weak, but alive. The eldest dragon stepped forward. Its voice did not shake the cave. It shook reality. This warmth was not born of fire, the dragon said. It was born of choice. The other dragons lowered their heads. They remembered the cold, the storm strong enough to kill even young dragons. They remembered how close the eggs had been to silence. They remembered the human's body wrapped around their future. Dragons did not forget warmth. The spark flickered. The cave suddenly grew darker, like something was stealing the light. Shadows twisted along the walls. The ancient symbols on the floor began to crack. Something else had noticed a spark. Something old. Something hungry. A deep pressure filled the cave, heavy and wrong. The dragons felt it instantly. Their wings spread. Flames crawled across their scales. The eldest dragon growled. Death comes to claim what it believes is his. The air split open. Aeon space appeared above the nest, dark and endless. From it came cold far worse than the storm. The spark trembled, pulled toward the void. The human soul was being taken. The dragons roared as one. Fire slammed into thee, pushing back the darkness. The cave shook violently. Stone cracked. Ice melted instantly into steam. No, the eldest dragon said. This one is claimed. They fought back. You cannot change the balance. A voice echoed from the darkness. Life ends. Sacrifice is forgotten. The dragons answered with fire. He was not born a flame, the eldest dragon replied. Yet he gave it. The spark burned brighter, reacting to the dragon's voices. Memories flowed through it. Pain, betrayal, loneliness, and one final choice made without hope of reward. The dragons saw everything, and they understood something new. This human was not weak. He was rare. The eldest dragon turned toward the nest. The eggs pulsed with strong light now, alive and safe. Their warmth reached out, touching the spark. These screamed. The dragons acted without hesitation. The eldest dragon wrapped its wings around the spark. Others followed, forming a circle of living fire. Their flames did not burn. It shaped. Power poured into the spark. Not dominance. Not control. Respect. They collapsed, snapping shut with sound like breaking chains. The dark pressure vanished. Silence returned. The spark floated in the center of the circle, larger now, stronger. The eldest dragon spoke again. He stood when he was broken. He guarded when he was alone. He chose warmth over survival. The spark responded. It stretched. It grew. Light formed a shape. Bones aflame. Veins of fire. A heart beating slow and strong. The dragon stepped back as a figure took form in the air. Humanoid. Familiar. The warrior's shape returned, but changed. His skin glowed faintly like embers under ash. Old wounds were gone. His armor reformed, black and gold, marked with dragon runes. He breathed. The sound echoed through the cave. The warrior opened his eyes. They burned like controlled fire. He fell to one knee, confused, shaking, alive. The dragons watched closely. The warrior looked at his hands. He felt heat flowing through them, steady and calm. He touched the ground, and the stone warmed under his fingers. I died, he said quietly. Yes, the eldest dragon answered. The warrior looked up, fear and respect in his eyes. He saw the dragon surrounding him. Instead of terror, he felt something else. Belonging. Why? He asked. Why bring me back? The eldest dragon lowered its massive head until its eye was level with the human. "Because dragons never forget warmth," it said, "and you gave us more than fire." The warrior swallowed. "I was nothing," he said. "My people erased me." The dragon's eyes burned brighter. Then they were blind. The cave shook gently as the eggs cracked. One by one, small dragon heads pushed free, glowing with new life. Their eyes turned toward the warrior instantly. They chirped softly. The warrior felt it. A connection. The eldest dragon spoke one final time. "You are no longer exile," it said. "You are the flame guard. You will walk between fire and flesh. You will be remembered." Far above the cave, across the stars, something ancient shifted. Legends had begun, and the galaxy was not ready. The warrior did not wake like a man. He woke like a force. Heat moved through his veins, calm and heavy, like a slow river fire. His breath came deep and steady. The cave no longer felt cold. Stone, ice, and air all reacted to him, warming as he moved. He stood. The dragons watched in silence. He was taller now, not by much, but enough to feel different. His armor rested on his body like it belonged there, black with lines of gold fire. Ancient dragon symbols shifted across the surface, alive and moving. The warrior took one step forward. The ground answered. Stone cracked softly under his feet, not breaking but changing, as if it accepted him. He stopped, surprised. "I did not ask for this," he said. The eldest dragon's voice rolled to the cave. "Power is not given to those who ask," it said. "It is given to those who choose." The warrior looked at his hands again. He closed one slowly. Fire appeared, not wild, not violent. A small, controlled flame rested in his palm. It felt warm, not painful. Obedient. He closed his hand, and the fire vanished. The dragons did not fear him. That alone felt strange. "You carry dragon fire," the eldest dragon continued. "But you are not dragon." The warrior nodded. "I am human." "Yes," the dragon replied. "That is why it matters." The cave trembled suddenly. Not from within, from far away. The dragons felt it at once. Their heads turned toward the sky. Their wings tightened. A deep anger moved through them. The warrior felt it too, like a warning burning inside his chest. "What is that?" he asked. "The galaxy's shifting," the dragon said. "Because you exist." Far across space, ancient systems woke. Old machines powered on. Silent watchers noticed a new signal where there should have been none. A human carrying dragon fire. Impossible. The warrior took a slow breath. "I don't want to be a weapon," he said. The eldest dragon lowered its head. "Then you will never be one," it said. "Weapons are used. Guardians choose." The word struck deep. Guardian. The warrior remembered the eggs. The cold. The choice. He nodded once. The dragons moved then, parting to reveal something hidden behind the nest. A massive object rested in the shadows, an ancient forge, carved from obsidian and star metal. It pulsed with old power. "This was built before your kind walked upright," the eldest dragon said. "It has waited." The warrior stepped closer. The forge reacted, symbols glowing brighter as he approached. Inside it lay a weapon. No, a bond. A long blade formed of black metal and living flame. The fire did not burn upward. It flowed along the blade like veins. The warrior reached out. The moment his fingers touched the handle, the forge roared to life. Fire exploded upward, filling the cave. The dragons did not move. The warrior screamed, not in pain, but in release. Memories burned away. Fear, doubt, the voice of the council that exiled him. Gone. The fire faded. The blade rested in his hand, quiet and steady. The eldest dragon spoke. "You will not rule," it said. "You will not conquer. You will stand." The warrior looked at the blade. "What do I stand against?" he asked. The cave darkened. The firelight pulled back like it was afraid. "Those who come when warmth is gone," the dragon answered. A vision filled the warrior's mind. Worlds burned black. Cities frozen solid in space. Entire species erased without sound. Machines without mercy. Shadows without soul. The warrior staggered. That is coming, the dragon said, and humanity stands in its path. The warrior clenched the blade. They exiled me. Yes. They lied. Yes. They would do it again. Yes. The warrior was silent. Then he looked up. Then I will protect them anyway. The dragons watched him closely. Not one of them spoke. The eldest dragon finally nodded. That, it said, is why you were chosen. The ground shook again, stronger this time. A signal reached the cave. Human technology. A scout fleet had entered the system. The warrior turned toward the cave entrance. They cannot see me like this, he said. They will see only what they deserve, the dragon replied. Fire moved around the warrior, shaping itself. The armor shifted, becoming simpler, less ancient, more human. The blade dimmed, hiding its flame. He looked like a soldier again, but not the same one. The eldest dragon's voice softened. You will walk between worlds, it said. You will carry our fire quietly. You will be legend before you are known. The warrior stepped toward the light. Behind him, the young dragons watched, eyes glowing with trust. Ahead of him, humanity waited, unaware that the exile they forgot had returned as its final shield. The sky over the capital world burned. Human defense fleets filled the stars, broken and afraid. Ships drifted without power. Stations burned in silence. The enemy had come without warning, without mercy. Cold machines, dark hulls, no voices, no surrender. The same leaders who once exiled a single man now stood together, shaking, watching their empire fall apart. Where are the reinforcements? One shouted. There are none, another replied. The enemy fleet moved closer. Then the stars changed. Heat rolled through space like a living wave. Sensors screamed. Fire appeared where vacuum should have been. The enemy stopped. Something massive was coming. Human commanders stared in disbelief as shapes formed inside the fire, wings wider than cities, eyes brighter than suns. Dragons. The word spread through every channel. Dragons, impossible, they're real. Panic hit both sides. The enemy weapons charged. The dragons did not slow. Fire washed over the enemy fleet, not wild, not random. It was precise. Cold machines melted like wax. Entire ships vanished in clean lines of light. Human fleets watched, frozen. In front of the dragons flew a single human-shaped figure, armor dark, eyes glowing like controlled fire. He spoke. His voice carried through every channel, every ship, every city. Stand down, he said calmly. The enemy answered with silence. Then they fired everything. The warrior moved. He raised his hand. Fire stopped the attack in midspace, holding it like time itself had frozen. Then it turned back, burning through the enemy line in a perfect arc. The warrior did not chase. He turned toward the human fleets. Many recognized him now. His face, older, changed, but familiar. Whispers spread like shock waves. That's him. The exile. He died. No, he was erased. The High Council chamber lit up as the warrior appeared on their screens. The leaders went pale. You, one whispered. That's not possible. You said, I was dangerous, the warrior replied. You were right. The enemy regrouped, pulling back for a final strike. The warrior ignored them for a moment. He looked directly at the council. You lied, he said. You exiled me to hide your fear. The oldest council member stood, shaking. We did what we had to do, he said. For stability. The warrior's eyes burned brighter. You traded truth for comfort, he replied. And now your comfort is gone. He raised his blade. Fire spread across the sky, forming images. Memories burned into light. The trial, the false charges, the secret orders. The civilians he saved while the council watched and stayed silent. Across human space, people watched the truth unfold. Silence followed. The enemy attacked again. The warrior turned back to battle. This ends now, he said. The dragons roared as one. Fire and force crushed the enemy fleet completely. No escape, no survivors. The threat that had terrified humanity for decades ended in minutes. When it was over, the sky was quiet. The warrior hovered alone between fleets. Human ships slowly lowered weapons. The council spoke again. "You saved us," one said. "You can come home." The warrior laughed softly. "Home?" he asked. He pointed at the burning wreckage. "This is what your rule created." He turned toward the dragons. "They did not ask who I was," he continued. "They saw what I did." The eldest dragon's voice echoed across space. "Warmth is truth," it said. The warrior faced humanity one last time. "I will protect you," he said, "but I will not belong to you." The council tried to speak. He cut the channel. The warrior rose higher, flying toward the dragons. Across the empire, statues would be built, songs would be written. His name would return to records. But he did not look back, because legends are not made by praise. They are made by choice. And the galaxy had learned a new truth that day. Fire does not belong to those who rule. It belongs to those who stand when everything burns. The galaxy was quiet, not peaceful. Quiet in the way a battlefield becomes quiet after everything that could scream is gone. Broken enemy ships drifted like dark bones in space. Human fleets slowly regrouped, damaged but alive. For the first time in many years, the great fear was gone. And at the center of it all, the warrior hovered in silence. The galaxy was quiet, not peaceful. Quiet in the way a battlefield becomes quiet after everything that could scream is gone. Broken enemy ships drifted like dark bones in space. Human fleets slowly regrouped, damaged but alive. For the first time in many years, the great fear was gone. And at the center of it all, the warrior hovered in silence.